Do you know what it's like to be on the bill and to play for 15 minutes, and the only people there to see you are the other bands and their girlfriends?
From Buffalo, New York, where they will always be green jello to us, it's the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast.
The last time I saw you guys live was at Mohawk Place on March 22nd for my infringement fundraiser, which was a super fun night.
Good time.
So I remember talking to Vin, your guitar player, about his hair, and he was telling me he went full out Slash.
Yes.
For the event.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure which of you guys were going to come today, so I'm fine doing this with you anyway. I kind of wanted to I want to test your Guns N' Roses, your Slash trivia.
Oh, man.
So,
all right, I'm down.
So first, I found Johnny Cash facts, and I'm like, we can figure out if they're Slash or Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Then I extended that, and I added the Clash. So this game is going to be called Slash
Ooh.
Oh, we're keeping that in. I rehearsed this all morning trying to say it right.
Yeah.
Slash Cash or
Crash.
//Cash /the Clash. That's
all
what
right.
this game is called.
That's a great game.
Okay, I'm going to say it one more time just because I'm proud of myself. //Cash /the Clash. Woo!
All right.
Oh, man, I stuttered as a kid. Not anymore. All right. So there's going to be 12 of these, so just tell me which of the three it is. All right. And I had to switch pronouns a bit since one's a group and
he
two.
Or they or,
so so that's but it all makes sense. All right, broke their nose and lost some teeth after smashing their car into a utility pole.
I'm gonna say Slash.
That is Johnny Cash.
Ooh.
They used to customize ladies' car coats.
Ooh, man. I'm gonna say Slash again.
That is the Clash.
Ooh, man.
What's a lady's car coat?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just had to take a wild guess.
I was hoping that the Britishness of the answer would be a bit of a giveaway. Doesn't eat anything from the sea.
I'm gonna guess Slash again.
That is Slash.
All right.
Ding ding ding.
Ding ding ding.
Let's find an effect for that later.
Okay, yeah.
We can find a copyright free ding ding ding.
Cool.
We got effects. We have loops.
They had an album deemed unfit for radio play that was never released in the U.S.
I'm gonna say the Clash.
That is correct. That is the Clash. Refused to use a computer until 2003.
Slash.
That is Slash.
Right.
I love that fact. That fact makes me so happy.
Great. That is great.
Oh, man. I imagine he had to have, some assistant do something for him.
Yeah, he probably just threw money at that problem.
He's so what do you do for a living? Oh, I check Slash's Hotmail.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this one. During one hotel stay, they let 100 baby chicks loose on each floor of the hotel they were staying at, which was a total of 500 baby chicks squawking around the hotel.
Wow. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to guess Johnny Cash.
That is Johnny Cash.
Yeah, it sounds like a Johnny Cash.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. That might be my favorite fact I learned about this. All right, directed and starred in a movie called Cop and Robbers.
I'll guess the Clash on that one.
That is the Clash. I believe Joe Strummer directed, and Mick Jones and one of the other guys.
I think they have a song called Cops and Robbers or something.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's on London Calling, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Was attacked by their own ostrich. Ostrich?
Okay. Let's go with Johnny Cash.
That is Johnny Cash. Had a pet and I opened up a wrong window. Had a pet anaconda named Stan.
Slash.
That is Slash. To the surprise of no one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
I see him being a snake guy.
I have a feeling I've seen at least like 1,000 photo shoots of him in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Like going through the 90s of him in like Rolling Stone with snakes on him.
Oh, doesn't he have a side project called like Slash's Snake Pit
Yeah,
or something?
yeah, Slash's Snake Pit.
That should be a dead giveaway.
They're
right
actually pretty good.
Hmm.
Collects pinball machines.
The Clash.
That is Slash.
Ooh.
I'm
pretty eclectic.
I would like to hope that he does so just so because Guns N' Roses pinball is like the best pinball.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Nice.
There's Guns N' there's Kiss pinball kind of stands up to it as far as music based, but really like you want to play Guns N' Roses pinball.
Yeah, I saw the Guns N' Roses one somewhere in Florida. We were on tour with Dredneks. It was in one of these bars or something.
If I ever have the money and I see one again, I'm just be like, how much? I'll give you all of my money. I need this.
Home.
All right, 2 left. Campaign for Native American rights.
I'll say Slash.
That is Johnny Cash. Did that a little late in his career. And finally, was arrested for stealing pillowcases.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to go with Slash.
That is the Clash.
Wow.
So you got 7 out of 12 right, which is still good for the win.
Not too bad.
And your prize
10,000 points
is a copy of Intent to Sell's Free the Free-Minded.
Awesome. I'll give this a listen on the way home.
Check out Intent to Sell on Facebook. They're on hiatus right now, but they're fucking... Have you heard them before?
No.
They got this Rage Against the Machine vibe going. Like, Brandon's like a super great... I was going to say a super great rapper. Like, I can't come up with better words. He's an excellent rapper, and the band behind him is, like, tight and heavy. So I definitely think you'll dig that.
Oh, I like some Rage Against the Machine type stuff, so I'll definitely give
this a listen. I saw you guys cover Bulls on Parade.
That's right, yep. Let's see
not be televised. The institution is filled with mad hellish vibes. You see Rothschild touched every dime and funded wars for centuries. So if they mention me, this is the reason if I ever die. Police stay militarized upon us all. Yo, we need to get our mind right before we meet with martial law. More than you bargained for, but less than I'm asking again. See, we're not asking, we will steal. Like executives passing a bill on Capitol Hill. And of course they conspire. So in theory, my theory has to be real. I'm gonna blast to be killed.
And welcome back to the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast. This evening, I am joined by Benny Hayes, the drummer from Handsome Jack.
Hey,
Benny, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
So we're gonna be playing. We're gonna play "Baby Be Cool" a little later in the podcast.
All right.
But for those people who aren't familiar with Handsome Jack, how would you describe yourselves?
I like the description, which I did not come up with. It's called Boogie Soul, and I think that accurately describes us. I forget who said it. But we put it on a T-shirt, so it's legit now.
It's southern rock that makes you want to dance?
Yeah, southern rock with a little bit of soul in it, you know? So, like Baby Be Cool. It's got some horns. It's got that nice kind of Motown southern funk. Not southern funk, but something along those lines.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's got some James Brown in it.
Yeah, well, yeah, we like a whole bunch of different kinds of music, so, you know, we kind of mixed it all together as best we could.
Sure. So you guys just got back. So did you tour Europe or was it just France?
It was just France this time. We are going back in July, and we're doing all of Europe this time. But it just happened to be a bunch of French shows, but that was awesome. It was really cool.
Sure. How long's your European tour going to be?
It's 2 weeks, and it ends in France. I'm not sure where it starts yet, but I know it ends at the Benique Music Festival in France. It's a pretty big music festival.
Yeah.
And rumor has it that we'll be playing on the main stage, which is really cool. We've been very well received over there. And actually the owner of Alive Records, Patrick, is French too, so it's just kind of funny. And we mentioned it in our one music video, if we've ever been to France. So it seems like France just loves us for some reason. All these weird connections to France, but it was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So how long's Handsome Jack been around?
Well, the band's been together since high school, actually.
Oh, wow.
I haven't been in it that long. I'm the newest member, but Joey, bass player and vocals, and Jameson, guitar and lead vocals, he and Joe, they've been doing it since high school. They've had a few different drummers throughout the year, but I've been in the band for almost 4 years now.
Okay, so were you on the album before everything?
No, I'm not on that album.
Okay.
No, it's a great album, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was living in Nashville at the time. I was doing music down there.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm from here originally, but I took the leap to move down to Nashville and played music down there. And part of the reason I moved because it was like I had some good bands, but Handsome Jack, in my opinion, before I was in it, I thought, like, these guys are the best rock and roll band in town. And if I'm not in the band, I should just go to a different city. So I was down there, and then they were like, we were buds because I was in other bands that played with them, and they hit me up at some point, and I was like, yes, please, because I would always joke, you know, if anything ever happens, please get a hold of me because, you know, we were buds. And they did, and I immediately left everything and moved back home to join the band because
awesome.
I knew they're an awesome band, and I knew we could make some cool music together. So they were already a band. It's cool, like joining a band you already like.
That's what I was
They were like
say,
when I came up, they were
great.
like, do you know the songs? I'm like, any song you guys want to play, I already know it. So just
I love
go
hearing
ahead and
those
do
stories.
it. Yeah, it was super cool because I've always had like a love for classic rock and blues. And they do too, and we just like our style, like even the way we dress, we all just like fit together real well. And we were already good buds, so we just gotten closer. It's been awesome. So
Sure.
really cool.
So was the band already touring Europe? Like, were they on and off touring Europe before you were in the band?
No, that's all new. Like,
so what makes you? At what point do you say, like, let's go to Europe? Like, how does that work?
well, it was interesting how that happened. Patrick, the owner of Alive Records, which we're on currently, he knew this booker in France, and he hooked us up with him. And Patrick came out to see us. Our last tour in the U.S., we went West Coast. We did a whole month tour with All Them Witches, a great band from Nashville.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And they're good friends of ours. And we were playing out in L.A., and that's, Live Records is out there. And Patrick came out to see us, and he dug it. So he hooked us up with this booker, which was really cool, Buzz. And he's been booking for us in Europe now, so that's kind of how it happened. Like, we will go anywhere to play. It's just like, who will have us,
Absolutely. So what's the difference between – what are some of the biggest differences between touring in the U.S. and touring overseas?
Yeah.
What's France like? What's different about doing shows out there?
The main things to me was different is you think, like, driving on the wrong side of the road. But in France, they don't. It's like here.
Really?
They drive on the same side of the road as we do, the right side.
Yes, the right side for a reason.
And the main difference, though, I don't know. The main difference for me was, especially being from Buffalo, and people are rowdy here. People like to go out and they like to party and have a good time, and so do people in France. But the only difference is, in between songs in the U.S., people will be talking, and the crowd will be rowdy the whole time. In between songs in France, I don't know if it's like in all of Europe, but in France, it's like quiet. So like the first couple of nights, I was like, I think they might hate us, but then it turns out that's just how they are, because we sold a lot of merch and people loved it. But it was really weird. You could hear like a pin drop in between songs.
Is there at least like some applause?
Oh yeah, there's applause.
Okay,
no, I'm
so
sorry. Yeah, I misled you.
Okay,
they're like, there's applause, and they're and then just like cuts off, and then it's like very quiet.
They are acting like they respect the musicians and the music.
Yeah,
but
but we realized this is like we were like, we got to get tighter with our transitioning into the next song, because now there's no noise, and there's just like people tuning on stage while there's no noise going on.
Yeah.
But we got over that after a couple shows, and it was easy, and the people were awesome. So that was like the main difference. But people just like to go out and party and have a good time. Sure. People are awesome. I know, like, sometimes I feel people joke around about French, even, British people, about how they're like snobby, So they're not, though. They're super nice. They don't speak a lot of English, so I think that might be the reason people think that. But
sure,
they're awesome, super cool.
Are there a lot of rock bands that are in France? I saw the Eels a few days ago, and they had a band called Inspector Clouseau from France.
That's a great.
Those guys were incredible, and they're making a lot of jokes about how it's rare that there's a French rock band. Is there a lot of that? Or
I honestly do not know. I can think of all the bands that I like, and there's a lot of bands from all over the world, but not France. Yeah, not too many rock bands coming out of France.
Like, I picture dance, electro kind of stuff, but you don't really hear a lot of French.
Yeah, not too many. Yeah, I can't think of any bands that I like that are from France. I'm sure I'm missing something, but I'm sure there's great bands from France.
Check out Inspector Clouseau.
I love
them.
That name.
They had like a classic rock sound, like these real tight kind of dancey kind of drums.
Oh,
it's just
cool.
a two-piece, and it was super entertaining. I was kind of blown away by how much I enjoyed their set.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So, kind of going back to, tightening up in between songs. That's certainly something we talk about, because even when people are making noise, like, every second that you take is just,
I know, it's something.
It's like a vacuum.
I guess it's a good if that's your worst problem, but that's definitely our worst problem. But we're better at it. We're getting better at it, but it's just, you can tell in France, like, it was just like, whoosh, quiet, applause, and then nothing. And we're like, but yeah, that was the main difference. But people were awesome. They love American music over there. Like, we were opening for Cedric Burnside, and it's R.L. Burnside's grandson.
Oh, wow.
He's the famous blues guys, like the Black Keys. He's a huge influence on them. That's how I actually heard of him. and it's that Mississippi blues. There's actually a cool documentary about it that came out in like 2004, and there's just like some cool music. And this is we were opening for RL's grandson, Cedric, and he was the nicest guy ever. And he really liked us, and we would jam at the end of our set, and at the end of his set, we would come out, and we did a little jam, and people loved it. It's crazy. They love American music, and we were like playing it at all these cool clubs, and I'm looking on the wall at all these bands, and they're like so many friends of ours or people we know, American bands that we like playing there, and I'm like, oh, we're on the wall with these guys. It's pretty sweet. Like we're on the wall with the Sheepdogs and stuff, and I'm like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
You know? So they love America. Well, those guys are Canadian, but you know,
close enough.
Yeah, Canada has so many great bands.
Oh,
so many great bands. So I mean,
that's a whole nother discussion. Yeah. So as far as like the size of the crowds, did you find that the crowds were bigger overseas than they were than what you're seeing? I mean, obviously you're playing kind of different kinds of shows.
Yeah, it all depends on the club size, I guess. But we were playing to about 100 people. To like, I think the biggest club was maybe like 400. I can't remember exactly.
Sure,
so they're like nice, medium-sized venues, which I love playing at because I kind of like the intimate settings and people being right up on us, especially because we're the opener. So we set up in front, which is easy because we're 3 people.
Oh yeah.
And I just like,
nice.
And it's kind of fun even for me as a drummer because I'm like never get to be that close to the crowd, and I really like it. You know, I like being that close. So it was awesome, and all the shows were packed. Probably more so because of Cedric, but, you know, we won him over, so that's good.
Whatever gets you in front of the people.
But he couldn't have been a nicer guy and super talented. So it was just a great experience because I've heard horror stories of, like, opener bands that are opening for bands, and they're not cool to them. You know, they don't let them use the backstage room and stuff like that. You hear crazy stories. But he could not have been nicer. He was the nicest guy. So it was a great experience. It was a great time. We've been very fortunate. Yeah. We did a West Coast tour in November. We were gone all November with All Them Witches. Another awesome band.
Yes,
couldn't
check
be
them out.
more than nice.
I'm a big fan of them, yeah.
They're so nice to us. So we've just been really lucky that nice people that want to help us out have helped us out. So,
how does the pay compare? Is it do you make more money going across to Europe, or is it more about the experience?
That is the tricky part. It all kind of varies.
Sure.
It really depends on merch. Our guarantees were higher than they normally are in the States, but I think that was just how the contract worked out this time. But we sold a lot of merch. We actually have the only thing we didn't sell is koozies. If anyone wants to know, they don't use koozies in France.
I hate to break this to you. They don't really use koozies much anyway.
I know. Well, we have some really cool koozies, so come by. It was, honestly, the pay is about the same. It all depends on the tour you're on. But luckily, we were on a pretty big, Cedric's a pretty big act, so, you know, it was, you know, pretty good. And most things with touring is you have to pay. It's all like the tickets, they'll either front them, and then they just take it out of what you make, like the booking agent.
Sure.
So it's really hard for bands to make money on a European tour. And so your first European tour, you're lucky to break even. Most people lose a little bit of money. We actually made money on our first trip over, which is a good sign, you know.
That's impressive.
And so that was really cool. And we sold a lot of records and we sold a lot of stuff, and it was an awesome time. It was a great experience, and I'd never been overseas before. It was my first time. I was the only one who'd never been overseas, but it was so cool. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to go back in July. We're going to more countries this time, so that'll be sweet.
Cool. We're gonna take a quick break here, and we are gonna play "Baby Be Cool" from your 2018 release. Everything's Gonna Be All Right. Any fun behind-the-scenes stories about the recording of this or the writing? Or
I lived in the studio for 5 days with my dog. So there's that. There's a little behind the scenes. There's actually it's a nice studio. It's got couches and stuff. There's actually a documentary that was filmed that we just put out actually probably 2 weeks ago. It's on YouTube. You can find it on our YouTube page, and it is about 45 minutes long, and it's about us making the album. So you get a lot of behind the scenes stuff there. It's along with the producer is Ben McLeod, who's the guitar player from All Them Witches.
Yeah.
He produced our album, and we just basically lived at that studio up in Lockport and locked ourselves in and recorded the whole album in 5 days.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
All right, cool. So we're going to take a break. We're going to play Baby Be Cool, and then we'll be back for a little more with Benny Hayes here on the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast on allwny.com. So, folks, if first off, if you're watching right now on Think Twice Radio's Facebook page, hi guys.
Hey.
We're new to you. We're the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast. So yeah, our idiocy is going to sound even more clear. There's going to be more clarity behind all the stupid nonsense that comes out of our mouths. So we have left our wonderful friends at LWNY.com. We have come here to Think Twice Radio. We have video capabilities. We have a beautiful studio. There is a team of people working here to make this place better. And a big shout-out to Richard, who runs this place. He's doing a great job here. And if you are interested in podcasting and you don't have the means to do so, Think Twice Radio is a great place to go to do it. Richard offers his studios for free to anyone who needs it. And, he's already been, I've only been here for a few hours. He's also already been super, super helpful.
Yep, just like at home. This is cool.
Yeah. Oh. So I want to yell about something, Mike.
Let's do it.
All right. I've been very, very busy. I've been working on the Buffalo Infringement Festival schedule for 5 to 6 hours a day for the last 2 weeks. And this is not to pick on Infringement Festival bands or any particular people, but this is just, I feel like this is a microcosm for what bands seem to be doing wrong with their own promotion. So, we have 180 proposals. I'd say at least 95 of them were filled out wrong. And it's stuff that's as simple as just hey, what's your social media address? And it's I'm on 29 Linwood. It's really?
I think the yes or the no ones kind of threw people off, too. That's tough sometimes, man.
So first off, 140 characters means a letter is a character, a space is a character, a number is a character.
Wingdings count, too, don't they?
Well, yes. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
But one person, I think he included at least 140 separate links to different images of himself playing. We have, some of these things are literally there might be some that's 140 paragraphs.
Yeah, 140 links, though. He could have done 40 more and hit 180, so he was below his limit. We're good. We need to have a set limit on the proposals, but, and it's, this stuff sounds trivial, but on one hand, there are people on the back end of this festival who actually have to go in and fix some of these things, which is a giant pain. But also, get your shit right, because if, this is an infringement festival. We accept anyone. So even no matter how crappy your proposal is, I take it. Be infringing.
And that's great about it.
Be infringing. Do things right.
But if you're looking
no one does.
If you're looking at other festivals and you're filling this stuff out and you look way less professional than all the other bands, people just aren't going to work with you. I have a few just shining examples I wanted to share. One of the things we ask is we ask the bands to show a link, either audio or video, of what their performance is like. One band did not include a link to their band. They instead included Mike. It's the microphone. Here.
I'm Mike. I'm supposed to do that.
You found your place early. So they included a link to a live performance from Travis Scott from a music festival 4 years ago. I called him and I'm so what is it? Do you have a video? What kind of representation of what you're doing is on there? And she goes, well, we don't have anything. I have some video and it's on the way and there's some music coming, but I don't have anything. And then there's just a long pause and she goes, can I just tell you what my music sounds like? And she wanted to play at the Albright Knox, too. And it's hey, we don't book the Albright Knox, and I think you at least need a demo available to play the Albright Knox. Also important, please include your band's full name in the bio. Seriously, you shouldn't want to hide what band you're in. Spinwires, do you have your full names in your on your Facebook page, or are you guilty of this as well?
No, full names, yeah.
Thank you. You play in a band for a long time and you build a reputation and hopefully it's a good one, but if someone just sees, oh, Mike's the singer without a last name, they don't know who that is. They don't know what former bands he's been in that might be interesting to them. And just even from what I do with this podcast, it's hard to find people for interviews or to set things up when it's just this is Steve I. He plays bass. It's that helps me.
Yeah, that's a soup sandwich.
That helps me none. Super important, folks. I think I've pointed this out many times on this podcast. No. Yeah, I'm going to look right in the camera when I say this. No, your music does not defy genre. If you can't explain what your band does in 2 sentences, you really got to start thinking about what you're doing. You get stuff like music for the anemic soul, a soundtrack of color and loneliness, and the stark sensations of this life. Reaching for sincerity, a soundscape of honest self-expression and exploration of human thoughts. Then it goes into eating beer, we forget the chorus. Summer is here in a black sweater. It all smells the same, but feels different.
It's very Morrissey-like.
I don't even know. What? I did point out again about social media. Just if you can't fill out the social media portion correctly, talk to your kids. They probably know. They know what a social media address is. They can
I've even had some people, I'm like, hey, even for this podcast, like, hey, can you send me a track? And they're like, I can bring a CD to your house. Mike, I'm putting you in charge of this video thing next time. Cause
man.
I'm lost here. I'm just fiddling.
Fiddle away, dude.
There's you. For those people watching the video, it's really weird to be... I'm fine on camera, but having to watch myself, there's 4 different televisions right now that are showing my face. And it's kind of freaking me out. All right. Here are just a couple other wonderful snippets I've taken out. One is, our species is on the cusp of a new era, or potentially extinction. Let us sing praises, exercise our collective demons, please the deities of the technium, and ensure a harmonious transition to a post-human world.
Technium, is that like a MCU thing?
I think I want to start pulling these descriptions out and make people guess what the band actually sounds like.
That'd be great.
Oh. And here's one last one. Oh boy, I'm gonna take the artist's name out, but this is a bio. This isn't just someone writing this on a website or a blog. This is, if there's one thing that I can promise you, it's that Blank's music is revolutionary. He has an aura surrounding him that he uses to impact people emotionally in very unique and sincere ways. As a person who is with him often, I've seen multiple instances in which he positively alters one's perception and perspectives of life, religion, and enforces the power of believing in oneself. This goes on for 6 more sentences, and it says literally nothing.
Wow.
That's intense.
Yes. I've actually, and not to pick on them in particular, I've been seeing with a lot of local hip-hop musicians especially that, you get in there and it's all just, a list of, my music changes the world, and I'm a premier musician, and it's not, I don't even, I could read this whole thing. He stresses his desire to always be there for people just because he understands life can make you feel really alone at times, so he makes sure to let his fans know that their happiness and success is the reason he stands strong every day. Come on.
He's representing.
Mike, what does he represent to you?
Confusion.
Better. What does his music sound like?
Confusion.
There you go. All right.
Now we're catching on quick after a long time.
So, we're going to play a song next. So here, I don't believe this has been released before, since this album isn't coming out until October 25th. They are doing a release show at Sugar City for that. I don't know who else is playing. We'll talk about that more. I'd love to have them on the podcast.
So it's an all-ages release, probably?
Oh, yeah, Sugar City. Sugar City's always all ages.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So here is Crackhead Behavior by Muddle on the Struggle is Real podcast on ThinkTwiceRadio.com. Muddle. That is the title track from their album Crackhead Behavior. So, like I said, it'll be out October 25th. Go see them live. They're fantastic. And, hey, Sean Lewis, how's it going?
Hi.
Hold on. I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Wait,
I've been in this room before one time. This is Greg Sterlace's house? Or is it used to be Greg's?
It may have. I don't know.
There's like the Greg Sterlace show.
Oh, yeah.
Not the Ski Mask show.
The Greg Sterlace show is still running. Even without Greg Sterlace running it.
I did this once, and I thought it was this house. When I was out front, I was like, this looks like that house. And it was around this table, and I remember all the...
It's very possible.
Yeah.
I've always known Richard Wicca, who is wonderful. And
Richard Wicca is the person who owns this house? Okay, so I guess... Okay.
Could have been Greg Sterlace. We'll have a meeting afterwards.
He was probably just there or something.
Everybody's first and last, man.
They're all these, older people.
Oh, yeah. And no, the Greg Sterlace show is still going strong.
The Ski Mask or
right
not
now it's
Ski
Pam
Mask,
Schwartz's.
Yeah.
I found out if they changed the name, they would lose their spot in public access.
Oh, really?
Get, pushed back to the bottom of the priority list. So that's one of the reasons they keep it. And I think that's
Sorry.
Each room has its dedicated noisemaker. The one down here is way better than the one upstairs, though. So, Sean. Tell us. I'm going to read the description of LESIONREAD that was sent into infringement. Yes.
Yeah.
So, a frantic stream of consciousness, spoken word swan dive, deep into a millennial psyche, while simultaneously excoriating the corrupt institutions of the powers that be, featuring a crazy light show, video projections, crowd participation, dancing red people, and a cameo of appearances by LESIONREAD collaborators. Is it read or read?
I've pronounced it read, but
okay.
I think it's funny when I don't correct people if they say LESIONREAD. I think it's cool that they have
choose your own adventure.
Yeah. And so LESIONREAD doesn't just blur the lines between performance, art, and live music. Rather, they erase those distinctions entirely, creating a truly outrageous interactive experience that has to be seen to believed.
Zach Anderson, the photographer and writer, wrote that.
Oh, perfect.
About a show that I did.
Nice.
That was my first. It was kind of my I don't know if it's comeback or whatever, but it was the first show that I did solo for a long time. And he wrote that about it. So I thought that was really cool, and I liked it a lot, and so that I just pretty much copy and pasted it.
It's nice when someone else can write your bio.
Oh yeah, so much easier.
I gotta try and find someone to do that next time.
Not to toot your own horn.
We'll get Zach
anything.
Anderson up on the biz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so how long have you been an artist known as LESIONREAD?
The first shows that I was doing, I started doing open mics at Hardware in 2013.
Okay.
So since then, and really 2013, 14, 15, I was active as a solo doing that. And then I was trying to be a pop star still at the same time, where I was doing experimental weird shit and punk shit, and then also trying to be radio. But it's two different. It's they were two different kind of things, or I would try and be really funny and edgy or whatever, and then I was also trying to be assign me to your label at the same time, and it didn't work. And then in 2016 I tried to make in 2016 I made it into a band where I had friends like Jamie Sunshine, Reggie Clark, Harry Grazer, Joe Isom. These were just friends that sat in on instruments to flesh it out.
Yeah, wasn't you had one of the guys from Dream Beaches too, right? Wasn't Gabe was or Corey?
So that comes in later.
Okay.
It's Gabe. Spoiler. But yeah, so I tried that for a year where I was
it's Gabe.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the volume down. Damn it. All right, I'm not playing that again.
But it wasn't what I was trying to. My chaos thing didn't really work with a band where I was trying to organize like all the people to like do all these things, or I was worrying too much about like coordinating everything, and it's like it didn't translate, I think, and then I gave up that and then worked on other stuff for a while, and then this last winter I was like, maybe I'll like bring it back, but in like a different way. Like I'll say all the things that like I just like have in my head, and so like that 2019 song video, whatever.
Hold on, can we play something?
Yeah. Let's show it.
All right.
Does it show on the TV thing?
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is, we've got some stuff, and I'm not sure what. Maybe we'll just play the first one here, and we can talk
the
along.
2019 thing, or
I'm not sure which one is which. Ryan, can you lend me any?
It'd probably be the top link if I sent like
the
link.
We have them like we have an uploader and all that jazz.
Oh yeah.
Flip over to the screen
so
and
let's see if I can do this.
Skip through some skipping.
Mama's just learning how to drive. Hold on.
So then you press. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do that.
Oh, it's not that one.
No.
Yeah.
Not that one.
That's 2014
All right,
when it was the winter
do
time.
this.
That's in front of the Forum. Remember that place?
Oh yeah. Oh, I played that place.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay, so this
is
thing.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Oh, I did it.
So like this video, there's drums. And it's like drums and like synth kind of sounds, and it's all just one long improv session with Gabe, the drummer from Dream Beaches.
Oh, there you go.
And me, and then I took that whole thing. It was like a 7-minute jam, 7 minutes cut of like an hour jam, but like, and then I would like pace back and forth like in like my parents' basement or like my practice space.
Are you in someone's?
Yeah. And then I had like I would write down on like index cards like I would just pace back and forth, and like when I thought of something, a thought that I thought was funny or something, I would write it down. And then I would make like these like chains on the floor. These like okay, so I'm gonna say this and then this and then this and then this. And like a lot of time I try to make it seem where it's like it seems like I'm rambling or something, but it's actually scripted.
Constructed chaos.
Yeah. It's constructed.
It's very poetic.
Thank you.
It's got all that visual crazy to go with it too.
I can't figure out. I find it just hypnotizing. It's just the way it's cut and.
Yeah, I want to redo this video actually because people didn't get when they watched it that everything was planned out because I'm cutting and everything, and I went to like Best Buy. Those friends, it's Jamie from Velvet Bethany.
Oh, okay.
Or Vacation. I forget the two.
Venus Vacation?
Yeah, and like my other friend Vivian is in one of the suits, and then
I was going to say, is that top secret? Are we not allowed to know?
I mean, it's cool in this video, this particular one. And that day, it was like my first time meeting and hanging out with Vivian and Jamie.
Wow, and you're like, let's do this?
Yeah, it's like, put these on, and I'm going to do this. And I went to Best Buy, and I just emptied my bank account on these 4 GoPros. And then I returned them the next day. And then they were like, it's going to be like a week before the funds go back into your account. Is that okay? And I was like, they're like, you opened all these? And I was like, yeah. It was like around Christmas time.
Hey, this is Ballsy from 9 Layers Deep, and you're listening to the Struggle is Real Buffalo Music Podcast on allwny.com.
And we are joined by Jimmy and Ballsy from 9 Layers Deep. And Ballsy, you might also recognize from her time working the door at Mohawk Place. Thanks for coming in, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So, 9 Layers Deep is stoner, sludge, doom, metal?
Yeah.
All right. Are there axes?
No, we don't actually have axes. We're not like super like tough and brutal like that. We got nothing to prove.
You're high. You don't need any weapons.
No,
right?
I don't.
You're stoner rock. Okay,
exactly.
Cool.
Music is our weapon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's Steven Tyler Revolution X video game.
Oh,
that's a whole topic of another podcast right there, that game.
We actually mentioned Revolution X a couple episodes ago. That game, I I put $20 of quarters in that once trying to beat it, and I got so close, but I couldn't do it. But
oh no!
But if I was ever going to buy an arcade unit, I think Revolution X would be the one.
Oh yeah.
So first off, do you guys have any shows coming up?
Yeah, actually, in a week we are opening for Clutch and Big Business.
Is that what date's that?
That is the 18th. Monday, March 18th.
Post St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Very sobering day to see sobering bands.
And is that Mohawk, did you say?
No, that's at the Town Ballroom, actually.
Ooh, yeah. Town Ballroom.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Have you guys played Town Ballroom before?
No.
I'd be so excited just to see what, it looks so nice back there.
I'm pumped to see what, the green room situation
exactly.
is. I don't even care if we can just hang out for 15 minutes. If we can just hang out and be okay, cool, here's a chair.
Not to jump in, but I did play there one time, and their green room is, at least when I was there, and I think it was probably the Sphere at this point.
Yeah.
It was like nothing. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything to be like, wow, this is great. I feel like the bands probably hang out on their bus and then come in and play. There's just not much room back there. At least when I was there, it was one long strip behind the stage, and
you just kind of crushed my dreams a little bit.
I'm sorry. There's much better ones than that, but I feel the same way where it's wow, the place has got to be great, and it's just nah.
Nietzsche's has a cool green room there. I don't know if you guys have been there.
What's weird is that I've been and played at Nietzsche's a handful of times and have only recently found out that there was a green room there.
Oh yeah, no, I found out at Festivus in December, and I'm just yes, I get to use this now. It's I feel warm and fuzzy about this.
Getting to use a green room anytime is just an unexpected delight, because it's what? I don't have to talk to people. I can just
there's quiet.
Yeah, I can just relax for 2 seconds and not have to constantly be talking to and looking at and being looked at by people. You know what I mean?
Yes. The worst part about being a musician are the fans, isn't it?
No. The worst part, I feel, is is probably just having to keep up with all now, at least with all the social media stuff.
Oh yeah, that's
it kind of takes away from writing your songs and doing but you've got to do it if you're going to survive. You know?
Yeah, no, but for the podcast every day.
Yeah.
And at first it was kind of fun, and now it's just
yeah.
No, I don't want to do this today.
And then also, there's a part of me that's very conscious of the fact that people are probably just sick of seeing me post about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's at some point it's white noise, or some of those Buffalo music groups where it's just people posting shows.
It's the same three of us over and over and over again. Yeah, it's not. It's you often wonder who you're actually reaching in that moment.
I'm feeling it's 8 people.
Yeah.
Man.
We're already going.
So to go back to green rooms, does Mohawk Place have a green room? Aside from, I know it has that tiny little area to the right of the stage. Is there?
We do have a green room. It's
super special.
Super special. It's a work in progress right now.
So, how long has 9 Layers Deep been together?
Almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in June. So now it's 4.5. And we formed. That would be 2014 in my basement. And at the time, I was living at the former Northrop House, which was just a punk house.
Yeah.
And,
hole in the wall.
Yeah. And I remember, our first practice, we all got together and we were jamming, and then somebody thought, I had only been living there for, a week, and my roommates thought that I had, thrown a show without telling them. And it was just practice.
Yeah.
So that was, a cool, little confidence boost. That's, we sounded like we were at least punk house show ready.
Yeah.
Upon first practice, so I'll take it.
So, were you guys friends, or was it,
well...
How'd you meet?
Our drummer and I were friends. We grew up in the same circles in West Seneca, and went to school with a lot of the same people. And then he and I we had mutual friends who we jammed with, and then he was like, "Well, I play drums," and he would come over with another friend of mine who would play guitar. Sometimes 2 would come and play guitar. We'd all play, and he would set up in my living room, and we'd all jam right out. So we had a history of playing together, And he knew what I meant when I was like, can you do Melvin's drums? Which was like a really like, that in retrospect, like thinking about it is like, what an insane thing to say to a person.
Yeah.
And
play like Dal Kroger.
Yeah, but he got it. Like basically I was just asking for a lot of like ride cymbal and tom basically, and he was able to hold a beat, and we seemed to mesh really well. So when down the road I'd met Jimmy, and he and I had started hanging out together, and we wanted to we kind of just wanted to start playing together. We'd play together acoustically. We wanted to do something a little bit heavier, something sludgier. And I really liked doom and sludge. He liked a lot of like older hardcore sludge bands, and we just meshed really well together when we played together. And so then I organized it so that all three of us would meet up and jam, and it was a really good jam.
So for our listeners who might not be aware, how would you describe sludge?
It's like if like I guess punk and metal and like I don't know. It's not like in doom. It's very
a little hardcore in it.
Yeah, a little hardcore's in there. It's
harsh.
Do you guys use drop tunings?
Yeah, we're down to C.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So
it's so swampy and murky. Would you say?
Yeah.
Would that be a part of it?
Yeah, it's very heavy, very dark, but not always super foreboding. There's like there's even different subgenres of sludge within its own weird subgenre.
Yeah.
There's like blackened sludge, which is like
we are a melodic sludgecore band now.
Yeah, and so we're more of a melodic type of sludge band, I guess.
Yeah. Difference between being that and a little more dissonant.
Yeah.
What is your most recent release?
We just put out a single of our song Funeral not too long ago, about 2 or 3 weeks back, I'm not sure. And that is going to be the first single off of our forthcoming album, Sludge Life 1, which comes out on 4/20. Which there will be a party at Mohawk on that day. So if you're not at one of the other 8,000 shows happening that day, feel free to
Sleeping Melvin's released albums on 4/20 last year, so don't laugh at us for releasing our album on 4/20. Okay, thank you.
Someone has to do it, right?
We're standing on the shoulders of giants, really.
So
we're trying.
Where'd you guys record the album?
Watchman Studios in Lockport with Doug White.
Oh, I've heard. So how'd you like the process? How'd you like the studio?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Spend a day with Doug's awesome. Start to finish.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys do the thing where you kind of space it out over time, or do you like get in there for like a week and just like hit it hard? Like
money wise, we space it out.
Okay.
We do a song or two each session, and just it's done. Right. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
We started our second album. We got 2 songs recorded for that. So
cool. I think with the way digital distribution is going, like it's back in the day, like you wanted like 8 songs to put on your tape. I say dating myself. But like now, like you can just kind of do 2 at a time, and like people are cool with that. So I like it's kind of nice.
You can do 2 at a time over the course of a year, and then at the end of the year, release the album, and everyone's like still happy to like support you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel that like there's often like I was gonna say there's often it feels like there's more of a rush now for people to try to get their stuff out, and like because there's so much competition. It's like you're just scrolling through and there's a million different bands you see on Facebook or on Bandcamp, and I feel like people are just trying to like keep up with the
keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, cool. Well, we are going to take a break. Can we play Funeral?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Well, here is Funeral by 9 Layers Deep on The Struggle is Real, Buffalo Music Podcast on allwny.com.
hosted by Karina DeFabio and Team Ham.
The Think So Karina Show, hosted by Joe Kent and Hootie McBoobs.
I'd have to be paid. Hosted by Karina DeFabio and Cheesy Gordita. That is all for us. Being a musician is chaos. Please be kind. See you next time and keep struggling.